So this is me. And I have some books that I'm going to be giving away during the session and at the end, too. So you stick around, you might get a book. I have The Art of SEO. Look at this thing. 1,000 pages. And Eric, who is now out in the hallway, is my co-author on this bad boy, which is 1,000 pages, The Art of SEO, 3rd edition. Social e-commerce, so that's not an SEO book. And Google Power Search, which I've got, guess what? Everyone's going to get a free digital copy of this book. So that's, I have, thank you. So stick around. I'll give you instructions at the end on how to do that. But I do have 200 pounds of books. I know that that's the weight because I checked them in with United. So I've got lots of books to give away. At the end, it'll be out in the hallway. So stick it out to the end. You're going to get some awesome free goodies. I also have a couple of podcasts that you should subscribe to. One is Marketing Speak, and I would recommend starting with the Seth Godin episode. That is amazing. There are a lot of SEO episodes, a lot of SEO experts on there. Oh, and then the Get Yourself Optimized podcast is nothing to do with SEO. It's a biohacking, life hacking, productivity, self-development podcast. And I think you should optimize yourself, not just your website. And I did that because this was me a decade ago, if you could believe it. Yep, that Uber geek before my my transformation.
Really the main
Check this out.
Page. Not using
can we have some audio so you can hear what I sounded like?
Link.
It's pretty funny. Ready? Here we go.
One that you really wanted, the main permalink page. Not using rel equals
so thank God you're not listening to that guy.
There are a lot of low-value links on your blog that have
okay,
the one that
enough
you really
on that.
Want.
That's pretty painful. Anyway, so optimize yourself, not just your website. I'm going to share some stuff that includes tools, tips, techniques, and strategies. We'll even maybe talk about featured snippets and link analysis, all sorts of cool stuff. Things that I've learned over the last 20 years working with a wonderful set of clients and many of them retailers. So let's find you some free money. Who wants to line up and get a free site review? All right, so let's start with you then. Rosebrand.com. And what do you do? What do you sell?
Stage curtains, event curtains, into the theatrical industry, as well as theatrical fabrics, hardware, and other stuff.
Okay, so I'm going to start with some basic on-page stuff, and then we're going to go through a whole bunch of different things with different sites so that across all of these sites, you are going to get a really good overview of the 3 pillars of SEO. The 3 pillars are content, architecture, that includes all the technical stuff, and then links. So maybe this site will pick apart on page. I'll gently give you constructive feedback. To around content, on page stuff. Maybe another site will look at lack of trust or lack of authority. All right. So let's dig into on page with your home page. Now, you said that one of your main keywords is theatrical curtains. Is that right?
Yeah, or stage curtains.
Stage curtains, that's what it was. Your title tag is theatrical supplies from rosebrand.com. Is that your primary keyword that you want to rank for? Theatrical supplies?
No.
Okay. This is the most important element on the most important page of your site. If we look at the link profile of your site, I'm pretty much going to guarantee that the home page is getting the most link authority. This is your best opportunity to rank. This is fantastic, like low-hanging fruit. You just add some additional keywords without keyword stuffing, but you focus on the home page first, then go down to the secondary page level, and then the tertiary page level, and so on. Because if you start with the top of the site tree and work your way down, that's where the most link authority lies, and then each level down there's a little less link authority. So down maybe 5 levels deep, 5 clicks deep from your homepage, you don't have nearly the level of authority, trust, and importance as far as Google's concerned as at the homepage level. Make sense? All right. So let's look at what your homepage is singing to the search engines. Okay? So you have a song that you're singing for every single page. Every page of your site is like a virtual salesperson. If you have a 1,000-page website, you have 1,000 virtual salespeople. If you have 50,000 pages, that's a 50,000 virtual salespeople. So rosebrand.com has roughly, very roughly, 6,400 pages in Google. Now, I say roughly because the estimated number of results on a site colon search, can you guys see that? Should I maybe increase the size of that? Is that helpful? Okay, cool. So site colon and then your brand name or company name .com will return a number of results, and that is a really rough estimate because Google doesn't care if that's an accurate number because users don't care. When was the last time you looked at the number of results returned when you did a search, right? So this is a very rough number, but it's indicative that we're not talking about hundreds of thousands of pages of your site. Like how many SKUs do you have? Probably 1,000. Okay, so this is within certainly an order of magnitude. So now when you think, well, this is a small site, you're competing perhaps with sites that have 10 times or 100 times as many pages as you. Maybe they don't specialize in exactly your niche, but they cover your niche, and you have to outperform them. And we're going to start with the home page and work our way down. Now this home page, what's it singing to the search engines for? Not much, because there's no textual content other than links. These are all links. There's nothing but link text, anchor text. And those links, those words that are underlined or that go somewhere else to another page, are reinforcing to Google what those pages are about, not this page. So if we kind of mentally set aside all that anchor text, all the link text, and we think, what's left? What is this page about? Probably all rights reserved, right? A director technology partner site. Well, that's probably a link too. So it's not about much of anything other than maybe stay in touch. You need text on this page. So I'm going to leave this site because I want to cover a whole bunch of sites. So I hope that's helpful.
But there is text within images. It's HTML text. Does that count?
All right. And is that clickable? Oh, no, it's okay. Good point. Thank you for pointing that out. So that does count. We offer more in-stock fabrics for stage, event, film, and video production than any other source. Okay, great. I didn't even notice that was separate text. The way that you check that, by the way, is if you hit Control-A on a PC or Command-A on a Mac, that's a shortcut for Select All, and that will identify what's part of the image and what is text. And another way you can do that is just try and highlight what might be a part of a word and see if it highlights or the whole thing highlights. And that can tell you if it's text or it's part of the image. So I'm seeing some good keywords in here. Front and rear projection fabrics, screens, animation effects, rental drapes. The thing is, we want to set 1 or 2 primary keyword themes to Google about what this page is about. If we're not happy with, what was it, theatrical supplies? What keyword do we most, if we had to pick maybe 1, 2, or 3 maximum, what would be the primary keyword focus for this page?
Stage curtains and theatrical fabrics.
Stage curtains and theatrical fabrics. So let's look for the phrase stage curtains. It's not even present anywhere on the page. So the likelihood of you ranking for stage curtains with this page is probably nil. What was the other one? Theatrical fabrics. Theatrical fabrics. One match. The problem with that match is it's way up in the heading, or like in the top nav, and that's kind of the chrome of the page. It's not the main body of the page. So that's not as ideal. Is that clickable as well? No, it's not. So it's part of the page, but it's on every page, isn't it? So you're not differentiating and say, hey, this page is all about theatrical fabrics, much more than these other pages. All right, so I hope that was helpful. And yes, pay attention to the rest of the tools and stuff that I'll pull up with the other sites, because it'll all be relevant. Thank you very much. Okay, next site.
Hey, that's from Printful, so my site is printful.com.
Pretzel.com? Printful.com. Oh, you have been reviewed before. Yes, welcome back. Did you implement some of my suggestions?
I think that change has, this site has changed a lot.
Okay, it's changed a lot. Awesome. All right, well, let's have a look. And what's your primary keyword focus for your homepage? Custom printing? Okay, so on-demand print and embroidery, fulfillment and warehousing services. So that wasn't, that's the title I just read. And instead, the keyword focus you primarily want to rank for is, again, what?
Custom products.
Custom products. So I would recommend putting that in the title tag, revising the title tag. Okay, so let's go to some subpages, since we already covered some homepage stuff on the previous site. How many pages do you think you have? Several thousand. Okay. Remember, every page is an opportunity to rank. And if you have pages that don't really say much in the title and they don't have a strong keyword focus, you're missing an opportunity. If a page title or title tag is just reviews Printful, or sitemap Printful, or affiliate program Printful, or about us Printful, or contacts Printful, or product quality Printful, or job openings Printful, getting the idea here that this could be better. These titles need to have a keyword focus to them, and they need to be compelling. Because if this is my first brand impression of you, if I'm not familiar with you as a brand, I do a competitive non-brand keyword search, and I see a search listing that's only a few words long, like design services Printful, that's not compelling. That doesn't land for me. It doesn't make me want to click. So we need strong keyword focus, and we need compelling, persuasive copy there. What's that? Yeah. CTR, yes, the click-through rate, yeah. Sorry, I couldn't, the acoustics are a little weird in this room. Okay, so now let's pick a subcategory page. Let's go to, is there a particular category that you sell a lot of?
Custom t-shirts.
Custom t-shirts, okay, great. And is it more popular of a keyword t-shirts, T-E-E, or T-shirts?
Actually, I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, well, let's find out. Does anybody know? Anyone in that industry and they did the keyword research? Yeah? What do you think it is? T-shirts. Okay, well, let's have a look. And the tools that I'm going to use for this include Keyword Explorer from Moz. There we go. Already logged in here. Let's put in t-shirt. You can even, if you don't have this paid tool, you can get free insights from Google Trends. You just simply put in the keyword, comma, and then the next keyword you want to compare it to. The problem with this tool is it's giving you only percentages and not real numbers. And you might say, well, I've got Google Ads, and so I've got Google AdWords Keyword Planner, I can use that. Because if it's also a free tool, it's hobbled if you do not spend money on Google Ads, because it gives massive ranges, which are not helpful. But that tool has a world of problems. Don't rely on it. There's a great article on Moz called Google Keyword Planner's Dirty Secrets. This is an expose of everything that's wrong with Google Keyword Planner, and it's shocking. Those numbers are so wrong, they're as bad as the estimated number of results returned. Just don't rely on it. You can use it, but only if you use other tools to corroborate what you're finding here. Like they'll lump keywords together that have no popularity and they'll consider it a synonym. They do buckets where those numbers seem to always be the same, like 216,000 or 245,000. They're never in between. It's always an exact number like that. Well, that's because they're traffic buckets. So much wrong with Google Keyword Planner. So don't rely on it. So let's have a look and compare t-shirts to t-shirts, T-E-E and T-dash. So as you can see here, the one that's in blue is the T-dash shirt, which is more popular. Thank you for that. And then the T-E-E is less popular, but it's still a decent volume and comparatively. But again, we can only see percentages. We can see comparisons. If you're using this tool without comparing keywords to each other, this tool is useless. All right, so let's go back to Moz Keyword Explorer and let's get some real numbers. Okay, t-shirt with a dash. That's the more popular according to Google Keyword Planner or Google Trends. So let's confirm that that's for real, because we're looking for corroboration across multiple tools. And we're also going to be able to see keyword suggestions, which means we get to see other keywords that are related according to Moz Keyword Explorer. And then we can sort by the monthly volumes. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? T by itself without the dash is more popular than TEE or T-dash. And then t-shirt singular is more popular than t-shirts plural. I would not get hung up on, oh, should I use this variation or this one? Should I use the dash or not? Should I use the singular or the plural? Because Google understands, understand a lot of nuance. They think in terms of entities, not exact match keywords. It's a long time ago that you had to worry about getting the exact spelling right or the exact singular, plural, verb tense or whatever. So here we're going to see some suggestions and we'll get ideas for related keywords. Now this is super important. This is a writer-downer. You need to think in terms of not just the keyword itself, but what are called LSI keywords or related keywords. If you were selling lawnmowers, for example, what are some related keywords to lawnmowers? Lawn care, yard, grass clippings, weed whacker, right? These are all related keywords, and if you're not talking about those kind of keywords, but you're only talking about lawnmower, it looks artificial, it looks thin, it does not look like a deep article, it looks very surface level. So if you're talking, hey, this is our custom t-shirts page, we have lots of great custom t-shirts, they're custom, they're t-shirts, you're gonna love them. Very surface level, you don't have any LSI keywords. Let's see if you have any LSI keywords on your category page. Is this helpful so far, by the way? Like, very helpful? Or like, if you want me to speed things up, raise your hand. If you want me to slow things down, raise your hand. If I'm going just right, raise your hand. Look at that. Okay. I feel like Goldilocks. Yes. Thank you. And by the way, Eric, my co-author, and I, we're a little bit competitive with each other, so be sure to rank me number one in the speaker evaluation forms. Thanks very much. Okay, so let's go to your category page. So where am I going to go? Is it men's clothing T-shirts, or is it women's clothing T-shirts, or kids T-shirts?
Our primary goal is men's t-shirts, and that's something that you are trying to figure out how to actually do that. That you're going for t-shirts, that if you run for a men's t-shirt, then more likely you'll get the right crowd.
Yeah, this is a big problem. You are competing with yourself.
Yeah, you know.
Okay, so what are you going to do differently because you know this is a problem? What's the solution that you're going to implement?
Actually, we don't have answers to that. We're trying to figure it out.
Okay, do you want an answer?
Of course.
Okay, this will make the price of admission like a small investment. You'll get all your investment back just in this next minute. Now, you have this sort of problem, not just if you've stuck that category within men's, women's, and kids. Many of you have it because you have the category, or you've got duplicate content because you have separate pages for the different colors, the different sizes. Does this resonate for some of you? Yeah? Right, so if you have not collapsed all these pages together in some fashion with canonical tags or something, then you're competing with yourself. You have, let's say, small, medium, large, extra large, etc. as separate pages. It's the same product copy, even worse if it's manufacturer supplied, so it's not even unique to your site. Now you have duplicate content within your site, and you have duplicate content across the web. It's a big problem. In fact, how many of you are checking to see that you have duplicate content? Anyone checking that? Okay, so many of you, but not all of you. What sort of tools are you guys using to check if you have duplicate content? SEMrush, yep. Copyscape, yep. So if I were to pull up Copyscape, Search Console, yes, Google Search Console tells you if you have duplicate titles and duplicate meta descriptions. That doesn't mean that the whole page is duplicate content. You could have a unique title and the duplicate content is within the page. For example, every site that has a blog probably has duplicate content. How many of you have blogs as part of your site? What happens is you are using maybe the first paragraph, the first X number of words of your blog post on your category pages for the blog that are, it's in 3 categories now. You got 3 different pages, category pages that have duplicate content on them. Maybe the date-based archives, if you have that, which I don't recommend. Date-based archives are not good for SEO, and users don't really care. They're not going to go back to May of 2017. It's just not going to happen, so kill off your date-based archives. But that's another place where the duplicate content shows up with your blog. Even your homepage, the latest 10 blog posts, if it's the full blog post or it's the first X number of words, that's all duplicate content that appears on other pages. You all have duplicate content problems. So this is Copyscape. This is a tool where you can put in your URL and it will tell you if you have duplicate content problems on that page. And if that, well, it'll tell you if other pages on the internet are using your same content. And you'll find that there are scraper sites that do this. It's a problem, but it's not as bad as you might think. And the reason why is because Google knows these scrapers exist and they're not giving them any juice. They're just not going to rank. They're stealing your content. You're going to play whack-a-mole. You're going to waste a whole bunch of your time going after them with DMCA, takedown notices, takedown requests, or going after their ISP, their web host, etc. Don't bother. They're not going to rank. If somebody's outranking you, certainly you need to go after them. But it's probably your manufacturer and you're using their same copy that they've supplied to you and every other distributor or every other e-commerce site that's selling their product. Okay, so let's go back to t-shirts, custom t-shirts. Oh, and here's how you're going to deal with this. So you've got custom t-shirts in these different places on the website, and there's one that you really want to rank. Which one is it? Is it the men's, women's, or kids?
Men's.
Men's, okay. What if you had a combination of all t-shirts, but it was a custom t-shirts focused page, and not a men's t-shirt, not a women's, not a kid's. It was just overall custom. Would that be better to have that one ranked? Or would it be better to just cut out all the women and all the kids and say, here you go, we're assuming you're a man, here you go, buy a t-shirt. Yeah, so a combination. Perfect. So what if you were to change the keyword focus for this page to men's t-shirts, you change the other women's version of this page to women's t-shirts, and then kids t-shirts for that page, and now you create a new page that is a landing page that's going to have so much more wonderful meaty content to it. It's not just going to be a bunch of product thumbnails. It's going to sell your product category much more effectively. It might have some link-worthy content on it, like the 10 most expensive t-shirts ever sold at auction or whatever, what makes for the funniest, most awesome, most memorable t-shirts, like these are the 5 elements, that sort of stuff. Like if you go to Bed Bath & Beyond, a former client of mine, then you'll see things like tips and little how-tos and things you go into, let's say the bedding category, and then underneath there you go to sheets, and it starts getting you tips like, what is thread count? What is Egyptian cotton? Why do you want that over regular cotton? All meaty content that adds, remember what we talked about earlier, LSI keywords to the page? So we don't have any LSI keywords on this page, really. It's just, again, we have all anchor text, all link text, and no other text to the page. This, what's that? Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna gently give it to you. Okay, I hate this. I call it SEO copy. I can't believe that Walmart. Is anyone from Walmart here? Okay, good. I hate that they're still doing this. It's like a circa 2006 thing. It never really worked. Maybe kinda, but that was over a decade ago. And that was adding a bunch of copy way down at the bottom of the page. See, there's this thing called the reasonable surfer patent that Google filed years ago. And it said if the hypothetical, theoretical web surfer is unlikely to click on the link because it's so buried, let's say it's behind tabs, and maybe it's in the footer, maybe it's in tiny text. If it's unlikely to be seen by the web user, then it shouldn't count in the rankings algorithm. And you can apply the same idea to text, not just links. If this is way at the bottom in the footer, nobody's going to see it. I didn't even see it. Nobody reads that. Let's read that aloud, shall we? Having your own t-shirt business doesn't have to be a dream. With Printful, creating and drop shipping your own custom t-shirts can become a reality without much hassle. Just create your store on an e-commerce platform connected with Printful and add personalized t-shirts with printed. Like, who's going to read that? Nobody. So you tried this to see if it helped your rankings. Did it?
A little bit.
A little? Okay. So here's the problem, though. That little bit of benefit that you got is a big crosshairs on your back, because Google is implementing so much AI, so much machine learning to see if people are spamming. And if this is unlikely to get read by a human, then the assumption is, well, it's there for SEO. And if it's not there to add value to the user experience, but it's there to try and manipulate the rankings, let's give them let's ding them for that. And as AI becomes more and more part of the algorithm, and by the way, how do you outsmart an AI? Because that's all that we're going to be dealing with Google. The SEO of the future is all AI. How do you outsmart an AI? It's Google's AI. How do you outsmart it? Any ideas? You build stuff for the user? Yeah. Well, that's so that you don't get decimated by the AI. But how do you outsmart the AI? Any ideas? A better AI, exactly. You need an AI. if you guys are not, if you care about SEO and you're not playing with machine learning, you're already behind the curve. That's a writer downer right there. Okay. So where are the LSI keywords? They're not even present down in the SEO copy. And if you want to see Walmart's like egregious SEO copy, just do a site colon search on walmart.com and start picking through some of their category pages. You'll see this huge wall of text at the bottom and stuffed full of keywords. Don't do that.
What's your suggestion for these products category? So how they should look for the right SEO? Because it's a bad product catalog, of course you can do a landing page.
Yeah.
And where it text how you should add more content, because actually the list of the products you sell and then sometimes for users it's teachers ones.
Yeah, so if you want to add text to the page, which I recommend, and it should be valuable text, they should be happy that they read it. And remember, the AIs will be smarter than all of us to figure out if it was written for humans or not. So we need to like put text throughout the page, make it super valuable, things like bits of trivia or like, remember Bed Bath & Beyond, what is thread count, why do I care, what's Egyptian cotton, why should I buy that instead of regular cotton? That's valuable stuff. That's LSI keywords as well. We're now talking about not just lawnmower, 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 we're talking about grass and weed whackers and yards and patios and stuff. That's really good. But it's whatever text you add has to be valuable to humans. So I know we spent a lot of time on this, but these are really important concepts. Thank you. I appreciate your volunteering. Okay, who's up next?
It's Hydra Fitness Exchange.com.
Okay, you have to say that again one more time.
Hydra Fitness Exchange.
Business Exchange?
Hydra.
HYDRA.
Fitness Exchange.
FitnessExchange.com. Okay. All right. How many minutes do I have, by the way, left? Okay. Oh, there's the big monitor. 27 minutes. Okay. HydraFitnessExchange.com. That's always a fun one when you have exchange and then there's an S before it and it looks like sex change. You guys ever notice that? No? Yeah. Sorry. Funny story. There was the .com back in the .com age. 1999, 2000. Yes, I was around back then with an internet business. Can you believe that this consultancy was a big competitor to the big five consulting firms? It was called A Company. Like ACCOMPNY. Like we accompany our clients to success. Hi, can I speak to Joe? Yeah, this is Bill from A Company. What company? A company. Yeah, they went out of business, of course. Okay, so let's look at your link profile because we haven't looked at link equity yet. And I'm going to pull up a few of my favorite tools here, one of them being link research tools. And while one of these tools is running, I'm going to specifically run this one, the QBC or QBL, Quick Backlink tool. I'm going to put in your domain here. And let's see your link velocity trends, if that's increasing or decreasing over time. Let's look at your trust and authority. It's a new site. Just launched it last week, you say? Okay, so you have no authority then. Okay, so that's a problem. Let's. Did you buy that site aftermarket, the domain, or did you buy? Okay, so you just found it was available for $10 and you bought it. That's a big problem. You've got several years of hard slog ahead of you because you've got a whole big zero for both trust and importance. This is your Achilles heel. I don't even need to start picking apart your website because as long as you have zeros here, even if it was under 10 for each of these, you have trust flow and then you have citation flow. Trust flow is your it's your trust It's an approximation of trust rank, the trust rank algorithm, and then citation flow is an approximation of page rank. That's importance. So these are both 0 out of 100 on a log scale. Not good. This is your Achilles heel. Whatever wonderful content you put up on that website is going to get buried. You probably only rank for your brand. Well, yeah, because it's new, you have nobody linking to you. If you were to have bought an existing domain that had some link equity and you slowly changed the whois information over the course of months, you didn't change the a hosting provider, all that, and you let it kind of sit, but you put the new content up, then Google would probably not reset the page rank back to 0. But whenever you buy an aftermarket domain and you change everything, you change the hosting, you change the registrant name and the admin contact, Google says, oh, new owner, page rank reset to 0. So what I would have done, a little late now, but yeah, I would have found an in the aftermarket website directories, look for a site that is in fitness, that has some link equity, buy that site. So you're probably not going to rank for anything for at least a year, other than your brand. Sorry. Let's move on to the next site.
Hi, I'm Carol.
Hi, Carol. Okay, so go to the store section of what was the site again? Okay, hbr.org. I just got published for the first time in HBR in January. Yes, that was a huge goal for me. Okay, so go to the store.
And I will mention that in the process of redesign.
Okay, you're in the process of redesign. So who is in the process of redesigning or is thinking about it in the next 6 months? Many of you. Okay, here is some gold for you. If you were to think through the SEO implications of the redesign after you're pretty much finished with the redesign, that's going to cost you a lot of money. Every stage in the process of the redesign, everything including the functional requirements specification, the wireframes, the mock-ups, the staging site, or the development site, and then the staging site, and then launch, and then post-launch, all of those stages of the redesign process need to have SEO injected into them. You need an SEO expert to weigh in on those mock-ups, on those wireframes, on the functional requirements. Otherwise, it's like building a house, and then afterwards, somebody says, the lights don't work. Oh, shoot. You know what? I think we forgot to put the wiring in. We don't have any electrical. And of course, that's very expensive to tear out the drywall, put the wiring in, and then patch up the drywall. That's exactly what you're doing by bringing in SEO towards the very end of the redesign process. How many of you inject SEO goodness into every stage, especially the early stages of the redesign? Okay, so that is a very small percentage of the audience. We need all of you to raise your hand at that. Okay, so what is it about the redesign that is the primary impetus here? What's the goal with the redesign? To do what?
To drive higher conversion.
Drive higher conversion. Okay. And how far along are you in this process?
We're pretty far along.
Pretty far along. Do you have a mock-up that I could see? Or is it
It's
behind a wall? Okay. That's a shame. I wish I could have seen it. Maybe, you know what, I'm going to stick around. By the way, I'm going to stick around for as long as you guys want me to, in the back and out of the room. So that's where all the books are. I'll stick around for however long it takes. When I did this last year, I stayed for 4 hours. I'm not going to do that this time. Let's be reasonable. But at least a couple hours. If you guys have questions, I will stick around until the very end. Okay. So you want to drive more conversion. Incidentally, if you want to drive more conversion, you need to use an expert for conversion. Don't try and do that in-house. Like use somebody like Invesp for your conversion because they wrote the book on it, well, one of the books, Conversion Optimization. They get conversion very deeply. I get it pretty well, but you want to go with the true top expert in conversion. So what are you going to do in terms of, let's say, the SEO side of it? Have you guys incorporated any SEO goodness into the mock-ups or the process?
Basically, we're kind of at stage one in terms of what we currently have for SEO.
Okay, so you're almost done with the redesign, but you haven't done any SEO to that redesign yet.
That hasn't been a focus.
Okay, well, it's good you're here, so we can help get the train back on the tracks. What matters the most is that the content that is the most valuable and the most keyword rich and is helping set the keyword focus for the page is as high up in the copy as possible. If you have nothing but an image, or even worse, a slider carousel thing. By the way, this is a conversion killer. I don't know if you knew that. Did the folks that were working on the conversion tell you that?
When you say conversion killer, you mean carousel or that particular?
A carousel, anytime you have a rotating slider thing, that destroys your conversion rate. And I'm not just, that's not opinion. There's tons of articles on this, like this one, and they're quoting top experts like Invest, like conversionrateoptimization.com, et cetera, Tim Ash, Chris Goward, et cetera. They all say don't do it. So does the new design have sliders?
It does have a carousel.
Okay.
But we have some control over.
Okay. Can we just make that carousel be of one thing so it never rotates? Because here's the problem. It rotates faster than your users are wanting it to rotate. So they don't have time to fully absorb what is the thing that you want. And you're also giving them the paradox of choice, which means that you're giving them a whole bunch of flavors of jam to choose from. Lots of people will sample at the grocery store, but they'll never buy. They don't put anything in their cart. If you give them only a small sampling of, like, here's 3 flavors, you get way more purchases. So cut out all the overwhelm of, like, too much information and just stay with one thing. I guarantee you will get way more conversion that way. It'll be worth, that alone is worth the price of admission for IRCE. Okay.
How do you balance knowing what that one thing needs to be when you have like a catalog of 50,000?
A/B split test. You can't just focus on one product. You need to focus on a category, like we talked about, a landing page for custom t-shirts. You need to pick something that is so compelling. It's like a landing page about reports on hiring, the cost of a bad hire, how to avoid that cost, what to do if you've made a bad hire, and it's a collection of different case studies and articles and so forth, but it is like a whole category, a whole discipline, like management or marketing or like a specific branch of marketing, like I don't know, CMOs and the how CMOs can stay on top of trends and so forth. Yeah, so I get that you got a lot of products. You can't just pick a product. It needs to be like a super category, and then A/B split test these different landing pages that you feature to see which one is the best performer. You could use tools like Optimizely or VWO, Visual Website Optimizer. Yeah, okay. So back to SEO now. Now that I've given you a bunch of conversion thoughts, what is it going to be on the top of the first, above the fold part of the page, above the fold meaning before the scroll? What are you going to say there that is so valuable that this page deserves to rank for whatever your primary keyword is?
Well, the nav, which right now what you're looking at is a combination of the content side and our business as well as the store. So the nav features specifically the product categories that we actually sell.
Okay.
Focus an opportunity to also browse by major subject. We do have a banner carousel we're testing in terms of featuring on the product type of case studies or the topic or what we know would be a bestseller product outside of what you just said.
So you said a banner.
It's going to be a banner. It's not going to be. It's going to look much more appealing.
Okay, but if it's a banner that's kind of like an ad banner where the text is part of the image, that's not going to help you from an SEO perspective.
Well, the text is actually a separate block that's overlaid on top of
Okay, good. Excellent. Okay.
And we do have the ability to set the timing of how quickly they scroll through as well.
Yeah.
And then underneath will be like featured products, bestsellers, new, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get into a category page, like case studies, you'll be able to filter by various industry subject.
Yeah. So one thing I would do is, because you have so much authority and trust as HBR, and this lives on the hbr.org domain,
It's actually becoming, well, it is, it's a microsite, store, sorry.
Yeah.
Store.hdr.org. So the domain is changing a bit.
so you're going to switch from a subdirectory to a subdomain. Can you possibly change that to stay the same?
No.
That's a shame. Yeah, that's not good. Anytime that you guys can choose between a subdomain and a subdirectory, always go subdirectory. Always, always, always. You will get more SEO juice that way. So you're going to take a hit. Not only will you take a hit because when you do a redesign, typically things get missed and there are 404 errors and stuff like that. Redirects are not done properly, etc. Oh, here's another thing. When you move sites, so you're going to basically do a site move, site migration. Oh, those are fun. Not from an SEO perspective. You take a hit there, and now you're going to take a permanent hit by having it be not part of the main HBR site. So here's the secret sauce to getting the migration right. When you have a domain change or a subdomain change or whatever, everything tends to get 301 redirected. Big mistake. You're like, what? What do you mean, big mistake? What should not get 301 redirected? Two files, robots.txt and sitemaps. XML sitemaps should never, ever, ever get redirected to the new sitemaps file. In the robots.txt file, you're going to list sitemaps directives for the old sitemap and the new sitemap. Now, these are going to be, the robots.txt, you're actually going to have two of them, because you have one at the new subdomain and you'll have the one at the main hbr.org. On the one that's the main hbr.org robots.txt, you're going to continue to list the old sitemap or URLs. You're not going to take all those store URLs out of the sitemap. You're not going to retire that old sitemap. Why? Because Google needs to discover all the redirects, all the product pages, category pages, etc. Those are all at different URLs. If you take the map away that says, here's where to find all the redirects, you just hobbled Googlebot's ability to find and pass the PageRank to those destination URLs. Does that make sense? That is gold, and most SEOs get it wrong. Yeah, okay. I think we better move on. Hope that was helpful. I love you guys. HBR, I'm a big fan. Oh, and focus on HBR case studies as a keyword for your e-commerce site, for the store. Yeah, that should be probably one of your primary keywords. Okay.
Hi, I'm Dana. My site is yarn.com.
Yarn.com. That's a great brand. I love that. Excellent. Okay, we're going to have to move into kind of lightning round now. So I'm curious how you guys are doing in terms of your link equity. So let's look at Majestic first of all. How's your trust flow and citation flow? Not bad. Not great, but not bad. You need to work on this. Who's your biggest competitor?
Love knitting.
Love knitting? Okay, this is good news. you have better numbers than they do. Are they the ones that are outranking you, or is somebody else outranking you? Like Amazon? Like, who's outranking you? What's a main keyword?
Yarn or knitting yarn.
Let's try knitting yarn. See, the yarn is kind of an unusual keyword because it's a commercial keyword and it's also your brand. So you would do unnaturally well for yarn as a keyword. But knitting yarn, you got an ad there. Okay, you're number 1. And then number 2 is love knitting. But look, they have rich snippets. Have you fixed your schema markup?
We've been trying to.
Okay, so what do you mean trying to?
Everyone says no, it's them. No, it's them.
Okay. Have you hired an SEO expert to do the analysis on the schema markup and everything? Yeah, you should hire somebody. Just saying. Yeah, it could be me, but somebody who's an expert needs to look at this and run the tools like the structured data markup tool and just look at all your markup, your schema markup, to see what's going on. There's something that's not right there. This is a category page that's ranking, and aggregate ratings is the schema markup that you need to make sure you get right. Maybe you're doing it wrong. Anyways, so at least you're number 1. Do you have keywords where you have featured snippets? Because I promised I would touch on featured snippets. So let's see if we can find a keyword where you've got featured snippets. Can you name one off the top of your head?
No, I'm not sure we have it.
Okay, let's see if you do. This is SEMrush or SEMrush for some of you. Depends on if most people in Europe are calling it SEMrush, but I call it SEMrush because it's SEM, search engine marketing. Okay, so here we're going to go to view full report of top organic keywords, and then we're going to filter. Who uses SEMrush, by the way? Yeah, okay. It's a great tool. So is Ahrefs. So there's great tools out there. But what we're going to do here is we're going to filter. We're going to choose advanced filters, and we're going to include the SERP features of featured snippet. Look at that. Ta-da. So now we're going to go from, how many keywords did we have in that list before? It was a lot. Now we're only down to 24. You have 24 featured snippets. That's it. This is a ripe opportunity for you. Now, if I were to put in love knitting or other competitors in your space, maybe some knitting blogs and so forth, and see that they have a bunch of featured snippets, then I would identify the ones that are weak. They're in the wrong format. They're not a concise answer or comprehensive answer or accurate answer. I have a whole search engine land article on this topic of featured snippets, and I highly recommend that you check that out. It's how to rank for position 0 in 3 simple steps. A featured snippets primer. And it talks about how to steal your competitors' featured snippets using tools like SEMrush, identify all their featured snippets, then go after the ones that are weak, because that's the low-hanging fruit. Steal their featured snippets. Okay, so your featured snippets include wool yarn and weaving yarn. Let's look at wool yarn. Wool yarn. Do you still have a featured snippet for that? No. A little secret here about featured snippets. They will never appear if you have a local pack. If there's a local pack for that keyword, it's one or the other. What was the other one? Wool yarn, and what was it? Weaving yarn. Thank you. Nope, you don't have the featured snippet anymore. Darn. Let's try another one. And by the way, you can go and see what the featured snippet used to look like. See that SERP column? It's a cached version of the keyword. Like here, what is gradient yarn? We can actually see the search result from Google that was cached at the time. You have a featured snippet for, well, you did, at the time it was grabbed. Let's see if you do. Still, what is gradient yarn? Yay, you still have it. Yay, okay. And another thing too is you don't want to lose the featured snippets that you have. So go to SEMrush, get the list of all your featured snippets, and protect those things because you'll lose them. This is a very volatile area. Featured snippets are constantly being dropped and replaced with other ones. It's a moving target. Okay, so I promised I'd give some books. I want to make sure I do that. I've got 4 minutes left, so I hope that was helpful. Let's tell you how to do it. Okay, you want a free digital copy. I will do a lightning round if you guys stick around. And if you stick around in the hallway, for you three for sure, I will look at your sites. Yeah. Okay. So text the word SEO to 619-377-3672. So you take out your phone and put in that phone number, and then the keyword to use is SEO. So 619-377-3672. And you're going to get a digital copy of this wonderful book that tells you how to find your competitors' business plans for free. And they're confidential. Like who would have thunk it that this stuff is findable on Google? Not always, but you can find tons of confidential documents on Google if you know what keywords to use and advanced search operators and things. So that's all in the book. You'll all get a digital copy of that. I've got 100 copies, physical copies to give away of this book as well. It's just recently updated, like 3 months ago, so it's fresh, hot off the press. I'm also going to do 15-minute site reviews for anybody who wants it over Zoom or Skype. And I'll give you 30 days of access to one of my modules on the SEO audit course. It's all about identifying technical issues and then easy fixes to those technical issues. So lots of awesome free stuff for you if you send that text message. And with that, did everybody get the number so that I can switch back to the browser? We're all good? Okay. Anybody need more time? Okay. Here we go. Last site, and then I'm in the back outside the room. Okay, what's your site?
SaveAlife.com.
SaveAlife.com.
We have a redirect to our UCPS certification.
So SaveAlife.com, is that the one that you're primarily promoting, that URL?
We just
You just registered it?
the domain, and now all of our link pages are UCPS.
Okay. What I'd want to check, and I don't have time, but I would want to check that it's a 301 redirect and not a 302. I'd want to check that, or okay, so is that SaveAlife.com going to get promoted and get links to it? Because if it does, it needs to be a 301 redirect. And this page is within the that's the homepage of nhcps.com. How long has this site been around for?
6 years.
6 years, okay. And how are your scores for link equity and all that?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Let's look at another tool we hadn't looked at yet, Ahrefs. So ahrefs.com. Who has that tool? Okay, you all need to have it. It is an amazing tool, or tool set. You can do stuff like content gap analysis and link gap analysis and compare yourself to competitors and see where they're ranking and you are not, where they're getting links and you're not. So your DR, domain rating, that's their authority metric, is 43. And you can see how your traffic, organic traffic, and your organic keywords have declined over the time. You peaked in March, so then you took a hit. So did you guys look into that at all? Oh, we're out of time. Did you guys look into that?
Yeah, nothing really came back. We're doing anything different.
Okay. Do you know about this thing called EAT? Okay, this is a writer-downer, all of you, and I'll leave you with this one. So EAT stands for expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Here's an article that's a must-read article I wrote for Search Engine Land called "There's No Shortcut to Authority, Why You Need to Take EAT Seriously." Expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Is that an SEO term? No. EAT is a Google term. In their quality rater guidelines that they tell all their thousands of human reviewers, you need to check to see, especially in YMYL, which is your money or your life, especially in that category, but across the board, you need to look for EAT. Do they show that they have expertise? If this is a home remedy website, where are their certifications? Where are their diplomas? Like, where do they go to school? All that sort of stuff. Is it listed? Do they get lots of links from high authority sites that are in the health vertical? Like high trust sites too. You know, maybe Harvard Medical School. Are they linking? Etc. So that is a must read article. So you want EAT. And if we go back to your home page and we look at, well, let's put in to Majestic, nhcps.com, and see what kind of scores you have. nhcps.com. I'm most concerned about your trust. See, look at this. This is not good. You have a lot more importance than you have trust. You don't want to be skewed to that direction. Like, think of somebody who is important but not trusted. I'm not going to get political, so don't. You don't want to be that guy online. And that's exactly what's happening. So EAT, that's your secret weapon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kevin, for some extremely granular and helpful information on what to do and what not to do with SEO. We're going to take a 15-minute break now. Stefan, another speaker, will be available. Look for him at this end of the hall. We'll see you in 15 minutes. Thanks.
100 bucks back there, so come and find me.
Out of sync with real time, so that's what it was.
Oh, did I go over?
Yeah.
Darn.
Everybody did, because that's what that's saying. That's not with the real time.
Oh, no.
Excellent job.
Oh, thank you.
Before you get mobbed, I just wanted to meet you in person. How are you doing?
Good.
Good talk.
Yeah, thank you.
It was nice to have gone through the audit and that experience and then hear it again, right? To reinforce and build on the thing. So
Awesome.
it was good. Great job.
Yeah, we got to talk about.
I think we've got
working
time in the
together.
calendar. So that'll be great.
Awesome.
So we'll catch up. So I'll let you get to all the people
All right,
there.
perfect. Good to see you. Oh my goodness! Wow. And here are business cards. These are my podcasts. Highly recommend free little university education and marketing as this marketing speak. Okay, so I have fewer copies of The Art of SEO than I have Google Power Search. I have 100 copies, maybe even 120 of Google Power Search. I probably only have 30 copies of The Art of SEO, if that. They're heavy. So, first one's in line, we'll get to pick, and then it's just whatever's left, okay? So, who wants Google Power Search, who wants Art of SEO? Google Power Search. Power Search, yes, it's much easier to carry home. And which one?
Power Search.
Power Search, okay.
Thank you. I'll take SEO.
All right, enjoy. I can sign them too, but not until everybody has their books. So, and I will stick around and review your sites too. So,
Can I do that?
yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay.
Sorry. You're good.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody's going to get a digital copy, and probably have enough for everybody to get Google Power Search. Yeah.
So you're doing the SEO as well?
Yes.
I think we're both going to do the SEO.
This one?
Thank you so much. Sir.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
The big one. All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and start with chapter 7 on content marketing, because that's a great chapter about link building and kind of get your creative juices flowing, and it's not overly technical.
Which one are we getting digital?
The Google Power Search, you'll get all of it.
Thank you.
All of you get it digitally. All right. You're welcome.
I have a gift for more Space Switch.
Okay. Yep.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
When was that last edited?
Yeah, so 2015, but most of it's still valid. It's just that, yeah, it does need an update for new stuff. Yeah, you're welcome. So who wants what?
I'll take SEO. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yep. Yeah, easy to travel. Okay. You guys back there are sweating, aren't you?
What year did you do the third edition?
What's that?
What year did you do the third?
Yeah, so it came out in late 2015. I know, it needs another update. So, but it's still, I'd say 90% of it is still going to give you tons of massive value. It's just, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's not in there.
The second edition.
What's that?
I read the second.
You read the second edition. Huge update since the
Yeah.
second edition. Huge, like 250 new pages, tons of stuff that, yeah, it's really important to have that.
Is there anything in particular that's not valid anymore?
What's that?
I want a digital copy. I can't carry it.
Yeah, you know, it's O'Reilly and they don't let me. This one, they gave me the permissions back so that I could give it away digitally.
Is there anything in particular in this that's not valid anymore? That you know, like offhand?
No, it's that there are a bunch of things that aren't in there. Like rank brain isn't even mentioned in there. So who wants which?
Can I do the big one?
The big one.
I'll do the art as well, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, we're down to the last box of the Art of SEO. So which one would you like?
The art of SEO, please. Also, please.
Okay. You're welcome.
Power Search.
Okay, there you go.
Well, okay. Thank you so much.
Yep.
What was the name of the company you mentioned about conversion?
Oh, Invest.
INVESP.
INVESPCRO.com, like conversion rate optimization. Yeah, Invest.
Art of SEO.
Art of SEO.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thanks.
Got the big one as well, please.
Okay.
Follow my colleague. I'm going
Yeah.
to do a shot to you, please.
Okay, awesome. Yeah,
Yours.
perfect.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Google Power Search. Okay.
Thank you so much.
The big one.
The big one. Okay.
So much.
You just made it. We are down to the last one. The big one? There you go. You're like, no! I'm sorry. It was so much to carry. All right, so I've got plenty of these.
Thank you. It's only one.
That is awesome. That is optimization right there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great presentation.
Oh, thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank
Save
you.
the best for last.
I appreciate it. Yes, yes. Okay, you gave me 2. And did you grab my card?
No, we did.
Here you go.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks. Oh, okay. This is fun. I love giving stuff away. Okay. You're welcome. Yep.
Are you giving out these ones too?
Oh, actually, I do have a copy of Social e-commerce, yeah. I actually have one more in the room. So if somebody really wants social e-commerce, yeah? Okay, so if you want, you can go and grab it. It's in the front row. Okay. You know what? I just remembered I have one.
I already have the Bible.
Okay, so.
Can I have it?
Well, he's ahead of you, so. Do you want it?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
Thank you. So chill.
That's great. But yeah, I do have social e-commerce. So, okay.
I love that one. Do we just float here if we want to talk to you?
Yeah. So I'll be around and I'll look at your websites and answer questions. So you want social e-commerce? So if you want to grab it, or you can wait.
Can I get this one or no?
Yeah, you can have it.
I want this one.
Yeah.
I've been doing SEO since 99.
99. All right.
Filter search engine in 2001 using Springback algorithm.
Nice. Good for you. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Do you work at Yahoo?
BYU.
Oh, BYU. Oh, that's what that is. Okay, that's fine.
It was a great talk.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right.
There's a lot of.
I guess the big ones are gone now. We are with the
Yeah.
abridged version. These are like what the abridged versions.
No, this one's on how to find anything on Google. To be a power user of
Oh,
Google.
okay. Search
Confidential
commands.
business plans, forced research reports, they're all one search away. You know what sort of keywords to use.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome. Yeah, you can have it. Sure. Call.
Thank you very much. Can I have it?
Yes.
I texted, but it will work because I use international.
All right. Okay. So if you on your business card, right on the back, that I'll opt you in for it. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Then we have to ask you some questions.
Yeah.
We need folks.
Everybody got a book that wanted a book? Yeah, you can have. I do have extras, so yes. Yeah. So if you got the big book and you want this one too,
Okay.
I'm-
Awesome. Thank you. I don't want to be greedy. Thank you.
nobody's greedy. As long as you read it, like don't just take it and not read it. Anyone else?
I'll share it.
All right. So now let's pull up websites, or just ask me anything. Yeah.
Eclipsepharmacy.com.
So did you write on the that you wanted? I didn't. I won't remember that. Do you have a pen that you could write that you want me to opt you in?
It's okay. Thank you.
You sure? I'll remember. It's okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
You don't go home with the mic.
Oh yeah, it's my mic. That first guy left with the clicker. Yeah, go ahead. Go for it. Okay. Let me just quickly give this to. Sure, I'll sign whatever.
Yeah, that's plenty of reason.
What?
That's what I was
Okay.
Actually, she was standing in line, so.
Okay.
For the mics, you said that you would do us first.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah, I'll
then
do you
she'll
first.
be
Yeah,
hard. Thank you. Well, we can wait after he's.
No, you were in line for me,
Yeah,
please.
thank you.
yeah. Okay, what's your
Okay.
URL?
It's terrynaturallyvitamins.com.
TerryNaturallyVitamins.com. Okay. Like that? TERRY?
Yep. Do you mind if I videotape you talking?
No problem.
Just so I can share it with my team. I'm not the CEO expert, I'm the marketing coordinator, but I just want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So let's start with
So
the
we're
homepage.
Dietary supplement company.
Okay. So you don't have dietary supplements or supplements as a keyword in your title tag. It just says Terry Naturally Vitamins Home. You don't want to rank for home, so I don't know why that's in there.
Good to know.
There's not really any text on this homepage. The only text is the anchor text, the links,
Yep.
and nothing else. So there's no sense of what the primary keyword focus is for this homepage, and it's the most important page of the
If
site.
you hover over, does that count as text?
No, this is part of a graphic.
Okay.
Now, when you say hover over it and see the alt text, that only gets some credit, not much. It's not nearly as good as having actual text, because users aren't going to hover and see that little alt text.
Right.
So it's not important to users. It's not going to be seen by users. Therefore, Google knows to discount that as well. From a conversion standpoint, by the way, this is not compelling. You're not going to get people, actually, here, why don't you all be able to see what I'm doing here? This is not a good conversion element because there's no strong call to action. Like, oh, sign up to get on my email list doesn't really compel people. I want to get off of email lists. What's an irresistible offer that makes people want to sign up for your list? Promotion straight to your inbox, be on our email list. That doesn't really work. So also, if it's way down in the footer, the likelihood of them opting in, if that's important, unlikely to happen. So you might want to use something like Opt-in Monster, have a pop-up that appears on exit intent, not just a timed pop-up. People hate that if you have a timed pop-up, 3 seconds, and it's right in your face, and it keeps coming back every time you come to the site. So exit intent. Let's look at the nav and how you've set up the structure of the site. I'm not a big fan of mega navs, and neither is Google. So if there are a whole bunch of items and a lot of big things in the nav, then Google tends not to like that. And why is this misbehaving? Let's try that again. Okay, so this, I would consider this a mega nav, because even though there are 4 items there, they're huge. You have a fair number of things in that mouse over, and here's the problem. Anytime you have mouse overs, you have tabs, things that hide nav items or technical specs or anything like that, you're not going to get as much credit with Google as if it's visible by default. So if you really want to rank for, let's say, cellular health, you want to have that displayed by default, not be part of a mouse over. And it could be part of a mouse over and then be in a side nav as well. That's one way of handling it. But the way it is structured now, you're not giving it a lot of emphasis. So the likelihood of ranking very well for cellular health with that cellular health page is much less. So so we're in this brain focus and stress relief category page. Notice here that the nav has, the URL has categories in there, and I don't really love having superfluous stuff you don't need categories in there. You don't need products in there. You just you have something about the URL structure that lets your web server know that, oh, this is a category page or a product page. It doesn't need that extra fluff in there that makes a longer URL. Make it nice and short and keyword rich, but not keyword stuffed. Don't have a lot of parameters and things in the URL and the query string. You don't have any, so that's good. Brain health, focus, and concentration. That seems a little keyword stuff to me. If it's just brain health, boom, that's better. That looks less like you're trying to SEO. And the fact that you've got all these keywords in the URL, that's a minor signal. It doesn't make you rank much higher in Google because you've got those keywords in the URL. So if this is a category, this is a problem with most e-commerce sites. So if you guys are all e-commerce sites, right? Right. You probably have a page like this where it's a category page with not much text that talks about brain health. It's just name of the category, maybe a little teaser copy or something like a little intro copy, maybe. This one doesn't. And then a bunch of product thumbnails with product names and prices. That's not a great page as far as content worthiness, and it's certainly not link worthy. Nobody's going to say, ooh, this category page I'm totally going to link to and write about on my blog. Not going to happen. So what would you do to a boring, not link worthy category page like this to make it link worthy and make it content rich. Yeah.
No, sorry.
Okay. So
Pay attention.
what do you guys think? What would you do?
The paragraph description.
The paragraph of description is a start. Yeah, but here's the problem, is that worked in 2007. It doesn't really add enough value because typically that copy is not written to deliver massive value to the reader. It's just there to insert keywords and SEO copy. It's not at the bottom in the footer, so it's not that egregious, but it's not for human consumption. So if it's really value added for humans, then you got something. But I'd say a paragraph of copy probably is not going to cut it. So what would
link to a YouTube
yeah,
video that pops up?
you could have a YouTube embed. I wouldn't have a link to a YouTube video. I'd actually have a YouTube embed because you don't want them leaving your site for YouTube. That's like your health food store and you're directing them into the candy shop.
Right.
They're never coming back.
Yeah.
So you want to have a YouTube embed, or if it's a slide deck, a slide share embed, or if it's an infographic, then an image embed. And why an image embed? Because you want them to embed that image on their site too. So you have the HTML for the embed, and then they end up using the anchor text and the link in there in that HTML code. That's really good. So what would be brain health related that would make this page super link worthy and super valuable, even way above like what I described of the Bed Bath & Beyond, Egyptian cotton and thread count and that sort of thing. Like brain health, that's such a rich, important category with so much research and data points and trends and concerns and issues about things like distraction and people on their phones all the time and not being able to focus. Like we're constantly distracted. Yeah.
So at the top, tell a little bit about it. Maybe divide the products into 4 categories that specifically focus on what the customers are interested in. Have 3 inches that you do some good stuff about each of them. You say, click here to find more, find the products that'll help you with this, and then have 4 or 5, 6 products with some more info on those subcategory areas.
Love that. Very good. Right. And even here's another secret to success that builds on that, is if you identify the internal problem. I don't know if you've heard of the story brand framework, Donald Miller. Anyone read the book, Building a Story Brand? You all need to read that book. It's incredible. Or get the audiobook. So in the book, Donald talks about the internal problem and the philosophical problem and the external problem. The external problem is you want to perform better. You want to have more focus and be able to have less stress. That's the external problem. The internal problem is the thing that we don't say out loud, that like if CarMax is all about the external problem, which they're not saying, hey, CarMax, this is where you buy a car. You need a car, we've got cars. That's the external problem. The internal problem is what happens when you go to the car yard, you go to the car lot, the dealership. What's the first thing that happens as soon as you step foot on the dealership? Salesman, yeah. You get just, the vulture comes and like attacks. How can I help? What's your budget? What are you looking for? And then the hard sell, and then it's like wholly uncomfortable process. Avoid all that. Avoid that internal problem by using CarMax. So what is the internal problem around brain health? So it's great to like address what you're talking about, the like major problems with things like focus and attention, and with stress, and with distractibility, and people on their phones all the time, and the dopamine hits instead of focusing on the serotonin. That's all great stuff. But what's the internal problem?
Personal neglect.
Personal neglect, right? So maybe that they are paying more attention to their external look of their body and not focusing on what's happening inside their skull. And this lack of attention is causing them to not perform well in life, right? So that could be an internal problem. A philosophical problem is even deeper than that. But this needs that internal problem. Every page of your site, every category could be rethunk in terms of that internal problem. because that's how you sell. If CarMax was focused on, yeah, we give you all the details on the cars and all that, without saying, hey, you can avoid the salesperson. That's the worst part of the process, and we make that go away. Right. So, yeah, you're welcome. I'm sorry we can't go into a lot more, but
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Can we do tasteoftexas.com?
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
May I have a Google Power Search book?
Yes.
Thank you.
Grab it. Yeah.
Do you have any plans on when you're gonna do the next version of the Art of SEO? I know.
It
I'm
takes
sorry,
like a
I had
year
to
to
ask.
2.
I've been waiting.
Oh, okay. It's a painful process. So we haven't even started a 4th edition yet.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll remember.
Yeah. So certainly not this year. Yeah. It's all right. Okay, Taste of Texas. Tell me what your...
So we're the largest independent restaurant in Texas, but we also sell our perfectly aged steaks online. So you see the bifurcated landing page. So we're a 42-year family restaurant with an e-commerce site.
You see the problem in this, right?
Yeah.
You can't keep doing this.
I know.
Yeah. So what are you going to do with... This is where all the money is.
Yeah.
Because
Well-
otherwise somebody has to come... Well, they're going to come to your restaurant.
Yeah. So it's a
they're-
1,000 people a day come to the restaurant.
I get it, but they're going to come whether they get... Like your restaurant needs its own website, and the e-commerce site needs its own website as well.
Yeah.
But if you want to become like the next Omaha Steaks or even just Kansas City Steaks,
Just want to carve out a nice little
then
piece of
you need a dedicated website to this.
Yeah.
And that really needs to be the Taste of Texas brand.
Yeah.
If you carve out a niche for that and you make it a separate domain like Taste of Texas Grill or Taste of at Home or Taste of Texas Steaks or something like that, that's you're diluting your brand.
Because Taste of Texas Restaurant could be tasteoftexasrestaurant.com.
Yeah. So or Taste of Texas gotasteoftexas.com or something like that would be better.
Can it stay on the same site but not be bifurcated and just land on a...
Yeah, so that would be best if you don't care as much about the restaurant as you do about this buy at home steaks.
I do.
Well, then you'd probably need to carve it out into a separate site because what happens if you send them to tasteoftexas.com/restaurant,
Yeah.
they will just leave off the /restaurant.
Yeah.
And then they'll end up on an e-commerce site and they'll try and figure where the heck is the restaurant? How do I place a reservation?
Yeah.
That's not a great experience. So I would recommend separate domain for the Taste of Texas restaurant. You're going to take a hit in terms of your
Could I
rankings.
just do a subdomain? Like, no, I guess
You
not.
could do a subdomain, but they're going to leave that off.
Okay.
They're going to just go go to restaurant.tasteoftexas.com.
Okay.
And they're going to go to tasteoftexas.com, and then they're going to figure out, well, what's all these steaks? I want to make a reservation.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's Taste of Texas Restaurant or gotasteoftexas.com, now there's a destination there. They're not going to leave stuff off of the URL.
Okay.
They're going to go directly to the restaurant website. But this is a huge problem. This is killing you because neither of these two subsites is going to perform as long as you have this bifurcated homepage that has nothing on it. Like there's no meat to this page.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a pun, but
Thank you.
yeah. How good of a domain authority or domain rating and all that do you have?
Pretty good. I think like 44.
44, what, DR or DA? Or
Trust, or what's it called?
citation flow? Or? Okay. 42 trust flow, 40 citation flow. So that's not bad. It's not great, though. Remember, this is on a logarithmic scale.
And it's a 20-year website, so it should be better.
It should be better.
How do you bring them up?
You get high authority links. I have a great article on Search Engine Land about attracting killer links for e-commerce sites. This is a great article. Normally what I do when I'm working with clients is I'll produce a 40-plus page document. It's a link building strategy with 100-plus ideas in it. But this gives you a starting point of how you need to be creative to think outside the box and create remarkable content and remarkable content marketing. If it's not remarkable, you're not going to get links. Nobody links to e-commerce sites these days except for Amazon. It's true. It's like, you might as well link, if you're Amazon, you're essentially like Wikipedia. Like, oh, this widget thing, I need to link somewhere so that people know what this widget thing is. I'll link to Amazon. So it's the rich getting richer, and it's just the one rich guy, like the richest guy in the world, getting richer every day,
Right.
and you guys are losing out. So you need to have remarkable content is the only way you'll survive. Worthy of remark.
What would you say for the definition of remarkable content, if you could describe it in like 3 things?
Yeah, so anything that is 10x better than anything else. Like if you have the ultimate guide on the AeroPress and it's 10,000 words long and the longest other competing article is 2,000 words long, that's probably a 10x piece of content, assuming that it's written really well and it's got tons of value in it. So 10x content. If it has a unique hook or angle that makes people want to do a double take. Like, what was that? When you go to BuzzFeed's homepage and you see stuff, these headlines or the cover of Cosmopolitan magazine, you're like, what? What was that? You have to do a double take because it was just so out there. So that's another way. Or to put something into a format that nobody's ever seen before. Like, let's say that you're selling baby furniture and you come up with baby names as a topic to cover because expectant parents are searching for baby names. It's earlier in the buyer journey. They're not thinking about the furniture yet. So you get to influence their buying criteria. It's a great keyword, but how are you going to stand out from everybody else? It's such a crowded keyword space. So many competitors for baby names. Create something that's just so crazy unique, nobody's done it before. Like maybe it's the baby name 8-ball. You know those 8-ball things that you shake and it gives you the answer. Like anybody who uses the 8-ball and then actually makes that whatever the answer was, the name of their kid, maybe they get entered in for sweepstakes, or maybe they get a free prize or whatever. So you want to incentivize and gamify and things like that. But who's seen a baby name generator that's an 8-ball? I haven't. The Magic 8-ball baby name generator. That's pretty good. Like I just made that up. So if you can come up with something that's just so out there, make people like take notice because it's a unique format or unique packaging of something, that's another way. So what would be a headline that really catches your attention and makes you want to go like, what?
Like 5 things never to do to steaks.
5 things never to do to steaks. That's not
Grilling
that.
steaks.
That
What about like
5 quick sauces for steaks. That's what I Googled.
5 things people actually eat that do taste like chicken. That's more BuzzFeed-like. You see how that works?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be related directly to your product. What is
Burn your steak and love it.
Burn your steak and love it? Okay, so
Hair tips, stuff like that.
how about unconventional ways to cook steak, including, well, you'd have to have something that you don't want to give too much away. You don't want to tip your hat, or tip your hand, I should say, too much with the headline, because you want people to be intrigued. Like the craziest ways that people have cooked steak makes me want to click because you didn't give it away.
5 crazy ways to cook steaks.
But it's still not, like, it's missing that special sauce. What's that?
Can't put you on the spot and have the right answer instantly.
Sometimes. But, you know, like the things that taste like chicken or whatever
Yeah.
might be really like too edgy for your brand or whatever,
Right.
but that's going to be way more intriguing and entertaining to the people that matter to you.
Yeah.
And here's the
Right.
thing, the people that matter to you for the link bait, for this link-worthy content, not your target audience.
Yeah.
It's the linkerati. It's those who have high trust, high authority and they're going to link to you because like, oh my God, that is awesome.
Thrillist did a video on us, and it was this tomahawk steak is bigger than your face, and it got like 2 million views because.
Perfect. That's awesome. So think about like if you want to compare yourselves to a leading e-commerce site that really gets viral content, compare yourself to vat19.com. So what do they have? They have the world's largest gummy bear. And then they have a music video to go with that. And it's a crazy fun, no, it's the party gummy bear is the one with the music video. But they have 3 billion, with a B, views on YouTube for product videos. So look at what they're doing. And another thing you can do is use BuzzFeed as inspiration. This is genius. Watch this. If I do a Google search for the keyword, let's say steak in your case, and then site:/BuzzFeed.com, this is finding all these articles that are about steak or have steak in the copy somewhere. And some of these are lame because it's not just staff writers who write for BuzzFeed. It's a BuzzFeed community. Anybody can write for BuzzFeed. Those things get buried. They don't get much juice or anything, but you can write for BuzzFeed in the community. So there's going to be a lot of noise, a lot of junk in there, but there's going to be some really juicy things in there. Watch this. If I add in title, this is the sort of stuff that you'll learn by reading Google Power Search. In title : steak. Now, steak has to be in the title of the article, and that's going to be a much better result set. Yeah, we'll still get 11 common steak mistakes. How you cook your steak will reveal what people love most about you. That's interesting. I like that one. 12 unexpected but totally legit tricks for making the best steak. We ate steak ranging from $16 to $150 in Australia. See which one. That starts getting really interesting. Like there's this place in Las Vegas called the Heart Attack Grill. Don't ever eat there. But they have a hook. They have an angle that makes you do a double take. Wait, what? They actually have flatliner fries. Isn't that horrible?
Free food if you're over 300.
Free, yeah. Free food if you're over 350 pounds. Crazy. So they got hooks. You need a hook. Yeah. And that hook needs to be present in the headline. And again, don't tip your hand too much.
In the category page or in the just the store?
The link bait can be anywhere.
Okay.
The link bait can be anywhere. It could be on your blog. It could be in a resource area. Like if you have a great blog, that's a very fine place to put it. But if your blog is really lame, it's just here's us at our latest trade show and stuff like that, then you're going to have to overhaul that blog because that blog sucks. And it's not a place for hosting awesome, remarkable content.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you can also retool your category pages to make them more link-worthy and link-baity too. Like, put some little teaser things, like the world's largest steak.
Yeah.
Or like, what's the Guinness World Record for the largest steak? And put those sorts of things on the side, so it doesn't distract people from buying your product, but it adds value and makes it more intriguing and interesting and more link-worthy. All right. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah.
EclipsePharmacy.com.
Eclipse Pharmacy.
ECLIPSE. Pharmacy.com. Take this to the team can see.
Okay. So where's this based?
New Zealand.
New Zealand. I used to live in New Zealand.
Where? Whereabouts?
I lived in Auckland, north of Auckland. I lived in Silverdale, you know where that is, and then I lived in Dairy Flat.
Oh, right. No, you got to live in South.
I did.
Oh, really?
I got sick of living near Auckland, and then I moved to Christchurch,
yeah,
Corsair Bay,
yeah,
and Kashmir.
Oh, right. We're in Wanaka.
Okay.
Best part of the country.
All right. It's all good. I mean, you can't go wrong with New Zealand. I lived there almost 8 years. It's magic. Okay, so I
know you get a hemorrhage.
Yeah.
I mean,
what are you trying to rank for?
Well, that's good.
With the homepage, like what's the homepage?
We just want to be found, I suppose. I mean, the people are finding us often. People are finding us for difficult to reach products.
Okay.
Right.
That's probably because the easy to find products someone else is ranking
that's right,
for.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's take a category.
So I've left you my card, so I want to hire you to.
Okay. Yeah. I'll help you. All right. Quit smoking. Let's try that.
Yeah.
I like that phrase. I think that's a great phrase. That's a high value, but you've really put yourself on the line. That is a big ask.
Okay.
Say, I can help you quit smoking. This just feels like you're selling me something.
We are. That's the problem. I've learned a lot from you this morning.
Great.
Okay.
So if I want to quit smoking, I need to understand a bit about habit and that there's a cue or a trigger. There's the habit itself, and then there's the reward. I tease those three things apart. I could learn some NLP tactics. You know what you could do? So you could. I never smoked, but this is a habit, and if somebody starts doing this, every time they go to their mouth, now they're going to go inside, and then the more they do it, they're going to go even deeper, and to the point where they make themselves throw up. So then, guess what happens next time they go like this, with a cigarette in their hand or not?
The trigger,
They feel like they're going to throw up. So that's a way to, some of these things will work that are product-based. Some of them are just psychology-based.
There's no content there, is there? There's no content.
So much content, possibility that you could deliver. And Jay Abraham taught this thing called the principle of preeminence. If you can send somebody to the competitor and they will be better off than by working with you, it's your duty to do that. That's preeminence. So preeminence is, I want to help you to save your life anyway. If it's an NLP thing, if it's just changing habits, moving, just like when you, if you have the cigarette pack in the house, have it in the car, where you have to go out to the car every time you go smoke a cigarette. All those things are free, and we also have products. And if it's all about helping them, regardless of whether they buy a product from you or not, you are going to be in the catbird seat.
Okay. Well, I've left you my card.
Perfect.
I do have to move.
Okay.
Flight to catch.
Okay.
So we'll be in touch.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Did you grab my card too?
Yes, I have.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't go into
No, I understand. There's nothing in it. There's no content.
Yeah.
I heard that one. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Are you able to do just a quick homepage, on the fold review of my website?
Sure. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's called Kia Health, KEA.
Stefan, you're available also not here, if we want to hire you as a...
Yeah, I'm available for hire, for sure. Okay. Yeah. So be sure to grab a card and leave me a card, and be happy to talk. Cool. Okay. So this...
I don't know that guy. So this is more a quit smoking only design website compared to him having all of his products. So this is just the homepage for us. Wondering if you can tell me some things.
Okay. You're trying to rank for quit smoking?
Yes.
And your title tag is your trusted nicotine replacement therapy partner, Kia Health.
Yeah.
So that's a disconnect.
Nicotine replacement therapy is the products.
But who's searching for that?
Well, that's what I've done. It ranks, I think, quite highly, but you can tell me better.
Okay, well, let's compare quit smoking with nicotine replacement therapy.
Right.
Like nothing. It's like nothing.
Right.
It's all about quit smoking or quitting smoking or smoking cessation or whatever. If you start with smaller volume, less popular keywords, you can't do a keyword that nobody's searching for, only your industry. Like the industry term, I was working with Kohl's department stores, and they were so fixated on this keyword of kitchen electrics. Has anyone used that phrase in a sentence ever? Kitchen electrics. Like, okay, we can get you #1 for kitchen electrics, but why? Oh, it turns out because the CEO was searching for that keyword. So they wanted to keep their jobs, but that's a lousy reason. So that's your equivalent to kitchen electrics is nicotine replacement
The
therapy.
problem could be there as well is they usually use just NRT rather than writing out the full thing. So,
Okay, well, let's try that. Let's add another keyword, NRT.
alright, so you have to.
It's still nothing compared to, well, NRT is better.
Yep.
Are you saying NRT in your title tag?
Not really, no.
No, not at all.
Cool.
So that's way more popular. It's not, it's still not what you should be targeting. You should be targeting quitting smoking or quit smoking or smoking cessation. Those sorts of keywords will far and away eclipse NRT.
Yep.
But I understand that, you know, that's your industry term and you want to, and that's exactly what you sell.
Yep.
So you're going to be better off putting NRT in the title, NRT in the body copy. Where's NRT? It's, so this is a link or not?
That is, yeah.
That is. So you've got NRT mentioned, that's not a link once, below the fold.
It's a link at the top.
Yeah, but when you're linking to a page, you're saying, hey Google, that page over here, which product is right for you? That's all about NRT, not the home page.
Alright.
Do you want the home page to rank for NRT, or do you want this page?
Both.
Well, this page I don't think is going to do as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's
like
just an infographic. By the way, whenever you have an infographic, you need to have the HTML embed. It needs to be a better infographic than that because that's not great. But when you have an infographic that is good, like here's a cool infographic that my designer designed. There it is. Are you a geek? Take the quiz. If you have ever named a child after a superhero, then you are definitely a geek. Have you studied an artificial language like Klingon or Elvish? Oh yeah, you are a geek. So that's fun, and then there's the branding at the bottom and sources and all that. But look at that, embed code. So if I copy and paste that HTML embed, put that on my blog as part of a blog post, now I've got the whole infographic on my blog with attribution credit, a link, a text link with the keywords I wanted in that in
So
as
I
anchor
actually
text.
want people taking that link and putting it on their website.
You want them to put the whole graphic with the attribution link that points to your site on their site. But right now, it's not awesome. If we go back to this infographic, I'm not going to say, "Ooh, I gotta put that on my site because it's amazing." If you want to get inspiration of amazing infographics, go to my Pinterest. Yes, I have a Pinterest. I have not put all these on myself. I have my team do this for me. But there is an a killer infographics pin board that has like 1,300, 1,240, whatever, pins on it. These are all awesome. You will find some in your category or your topic space. You'll find some that have the kind of style that you want, cartoony or superhero-ish, or like data heavy but very visually, eye candy like, or kind of appealing to a certain type of audience. These are great examples. So you need to have an awesome infographic, and then you need to add that embed HTML code, and then you need to make that page more content rich and extract out the content that's inside this graphic.
Yep.
So it's actual HTML text that makes this page rank, because this is what Google calls thin content. A page with almost nothing on it. A little headline and an image. That's not going to rank. And you're sending so much of your contextual juice to this page saying, hey, this is the page about NRT. This is it. And then Google's going like, ew, this page sucks. It's thin content. It's only a headline and an image.
Cool. Okay, thank you for that.
Yep. But the good news is you have some great ideas to work with here. You have an infographic. Most. How many of you guys have infographics? Yeah, so very few e-commerce sites think like, we need infographics, but not regular kind of boring infographics. You guys need viral infographics, the ones that are awesome. So having an infographic puts you in a better position than if you didn't even think to do that. You just need to overhaul it. And then you need to make this page sing to the search engines for NRT and for smoking cessation. And then that infographic page needs to be built out with more text and a more awesome infographic and a different keyword focus than the home page, so you're not competing with the same keyword for both pages. So maybe that page is about smoking cessation and this page is about quit smoking. I don't know, one or the other, whatever. But pick a keyword where you're actually going to get on page 1 for, and then swap it out with another keyword once that more popular keyword you have actual shot of ranking for. You're not going to rank on page 1 for quit smoking. Not for a while, until you do a lot of SEO magic. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Yeah, I think that's enough.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right.
FrontRowElectronics.com.
What was it again?
Front Row Electronics.
Thank you.
And we moved the site in January without seeing you first. So.
Oh, okay. So where are you from?
New York.
Okay. So this is focused on the U.S. market.
Right.
And
pro audio equipment, DJ.
Okay. So what makes this? So like you're competing with what, like Full Compass and other sites. So what makes you special? Why would somebody buy from you and not Full Compass or I don't know? Does B&H Photo compete with you as well?
Yeah. Well, prices are all the same because these are all the map prices.
Yeah.
So.
But you have to have a differentiator about you that makes it more appealing to buy from you. Like I know if I need to buy a laptop, I'm going to buy it from B&H Photo, not from the Apple Store. Like I'm an ardent Apple fanboy. Right. But I'm not going to buy it from the Apple Store. I'm not going to buy it from Apple.com. Why? Because the differentiating factor for B&H Photo and Video is that I won't be charged sales tax. I don't know why or how they do it, how they can pull that off, but that's one of those stores where you don't get charged sales tax. I'm in California, sales tax is really high. I don't get any.
It's changing now because all the states are applying for.
Oh, so they're gonna. That's a loophole that's gonna close.
It's going to disappear. Yeah.
Damn it!
They're just not compliant.
Everybody, buy all your electronics from B&H until the window closes. Okay, so you need to have something that's your special sauce that makes you awesome, and not just like it could be something about your brand's history. Could be something about the founder. Let me show you something. This is not an SEO technique as much as it's just really good content marketing. Most people's and companies' about pages suck. They all suck. This does not suck, and here's why. It's done as a timeline. I can't claim credit for this idea. I got it from Studio One Design. Greg Merrily is the founder. He did it on his site, he did it on a bunch of his client sites, and he showed it to me, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So you have a pretty standard kind of little blurb, and then there's the videos not loading yet, but look at this. How many about pages have you seen where it's a timeline like that? People love the story of struggle. They love following your journey. They love storytelling. And look what I'm doing with this about page. I am storytelling. There's me living in New Zealand. There's me in my first time on the cover of a magazine. Can you believe that? Look at that guy. I filed my first patent application. I started blogging. My oldest daughter started her own AdSense website and started making money while she slept. She started speaking at conferences. Another magazine cover. I went to Tony Robbins' event and I did a big transformation, and that's what I went from to you saw what I used to look like. So all of that chronicled in an about page that's a timeline. You should all do that. If it's the about page for your founder, if it's the about page for the company, or it's both, or it's a combination of the two in one, however you want to do it, use a timeline because that's great storytelling. And when you do great storytelling, people want to do business with you. They want to go to you instead of B&H. They want to go to you instead of Full Compass.
Right.
You need that because right now you look like every other site on the internet.
Yep.
So where are you? There we go. Okay, so this is overwhelming. Look at all those nav items. And then there's some where you actually have to like do the mouse over twice,
Right.
and then it doesn't work that well, so you end up losing it, and you're like, ah! It's frustrating. Do you do the same thing on the mobile version? So I'm assuming you're using responsive design?
Yeah.
Because if that user experience is just as icky for getting to the right subcategory, that'll frustrate the heck out of people. You know, there's Chrome developer tools where you have this emulator. If I pull up developer tools, first of all, I'll pull up your website in this Chrome browser, and check this out. This is so handy. I normally use this shortcut key, but I'm going to go here to developer, and then developer tools. It's under the view menu, but there's a shortcut you can use as well. Okay, so this is what. See, because I've ticked that little button there that's looks like it's a device toolbar. It's the mobile and tablet emulator, and then I can choose what size, what the kind of device is, whether I'm emulating an Android or an iPhone or an iPad or whatever. So I've turned that on. I've set it to iPhone. I think I set it to iPhone 10, and look at that. It's now the little touch thing, and I can emulate the experience of being on an iPhone. It's not quite the same,
right,
but it's pretty close, and then you get to see things like waterfall graphs, and you can use tools like the Lighthouse Chrome extension from Google. It's great. So this experience is not as good in some ways and better in others. You've got a hamburger menu, so you've got you took all that nav away and you put it underneath the hamburger. And but this is let's go to musical instruments. So how do I get to a subcategory within musical instruments? Right. When I was looking at
from the pull down menu, you can.
Okay, so look, I'm going. Let's go to headphones,
Right.
and then we go to in-ear headphones.
Yeah.
This is very frustrating. Look at this. Look what I have to do. If I just miss it, I have to go way over here, and then I can. It's not forgiving at all. So,
Right, so what's the other
home
choice?
audio, headphones, and get rid of the second level of drop down, and then have once they
Just
end up on
headphones, yeah.
on headphones, then they can choose to break it down by one of these subcategories or other types of facets,
Right.
Other types of criteria. So now, if I'm going to home audio, headphones on mobile device. Oh, and that's another thing I didn't even show you guys was tools like GT Metrics and PageSpeed Insights and Lighthouse and Pingdom's Full Page Test, FPT, webpagetest.org, testmysite.thinkwithgoogle.com. These are all free tools that do page speed analysis and give you different things like time to first byte and first contentful paint and all like. It's all good stuff, and it's free. But we didn't have time to pull up those page speed tools. Okay, so we're going to home audio, but I click on it, and wait a second, how do I get to the headphones and then to the in-ear headphones?
Right.
Do you see how counterintuitive this is? What they would need to do is click on that tiny little plus sign and not here on home audio in order to see that headphones and speakers and stuff show up. And then they have to do this again to click on the in-ear headphones, because if they don't, they end up not being able to go to in-ear headphones. It's just, we're going to give it all to you. You're not allowed to get to in-ear headphones.
Right.
This is a really bad design from a usability standpoint. And because it's bad for users, Google knows it. Even if you're not getting hit by mobile usability issues, you will, because machine learning algorithms are getting better than humans at detecting stuff that is frustrating and difficult for humans. So, yeah.
By the way, we basically copied the big sites like Sweetwater, which is the largest.
Yeah, but Sweetwater's not doing it that way. Let's look at Sweetwater. This already looks less clunky. It looks more well-designed. So now let's go to a category. Where do we get to categories? So we're going to shop Sweetwater. Oh, that's the home page. Okay, so where are the categories? Okay. So this is, you did not copy Sweetwater, because now I'm even more frustrated than I was on your site.
They have a hamburger next to the cart.
Oh, there. See, that's the thing. When you break the paradigm of the web and you say, well, I'm not going to put the About and the Contact Us buttons where everybody expects it. I'm not going to use the hamburger menu because I want to be different. That's like saying I want to be different with my car that I'm building, so I'm going to put the steering wheel in the back seat or in the trunk. So I didn't even see this.
Yeah,
it was invisible to me. Yeah. That's funny. Okay, so now shop by category. And you see how they're doing it? This is so much more elegant. Let's go to microphones.
Yeah.
Condenser microphones. See that?
I see what you're saying, yeah.
So that's more elegant, that's more usable, and looks less homemade and kind of kludged together. Yeah, and we got so many other sites to go through, so I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, no, great. So I'll be in touch.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
You left your card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, who's next for a brutal attack?
Our site's bladehq.com, and specifically...
Okay, tell me that again.
BladeHQ.
Okay.
Our challenge is that we can't do any ads because we sell knives. So I built out like educational content, like the Learn Knives section.
Okay.
And we have
Do you have anything for like your biggest fans? I interviewed a lady who she's awesome. She's got a podcast called The Eventual Millionaire, Jamie Masters. She has a sword wall at her home. She's like I'm a geek, but in a different way than she is. She's a geek about swords, like all the crazy kind of swords from like what is it, Zelda or whatever, like these warrior princes, Xena, the warrior princess and stuff.
Yeah. We do a lot
sword
of
wall.
stuff pretty well. Like we have a.
So do you feature people like that with their sword walls or their knife walls?
We created a holiday called National Knife Day, and like people will post their collections on Instagram. We have like 300,000 followers on every social channel.
National Knife Day, I like that. Now, this reminds me of you guys heard of freshpair.com, an underwear website? They have National Underwear Day. But it's not just a day. They do something super cool that gets them a ton of press. Sounds like you're starting down that track, but you need to take a page out of their book. In Manhattan every year, they have, I don't know, thousands of people running a fun run in their underwear. You cannot enter the race unless you're in your underwear. And they get tons of press coverage. They do it every year. It's awesome. It's so genius. Not just a national holiday, it's how they celebrate it that makes it buzzworthy and remarkable. So how are you making National Knife Day remarkable?
Yeah. Well, we make YouTube videos, Instagram content. We have personalities that our community identifies with.
Okay. So let's say you got this community and you've got these influencers, and they're on Instagram, and they've got followers who are not in your community, as well as some that are.
Mm-hmm.
How do you leverage those Instagram power users
Mm-hmm.
for that holiday?
Well, we've been developing exclusive products that launch only on that day, kind of
Okay.
like Nike-style sprint runs and stuff like that.
Okay.
And
What about, I'm just going to think of stuff on the fly here, what about a scavenger hunt?
oh yeah, we do that.
You do a scavenger hunt
Yeah,
for
we have
knives.
something for
on that day.
For Thanksgiving, we hide turkeys all over our website, and then we give like gift cards to people that find the turkeys, and
Okay.
so then that.
Well, what if you did a scavenger hunt where it was in combination with the Instagram influencers, and you actually hid the clues on their Instagram pictures and videos, and when if we can combine this with the holiday, National Knife Day, and so we got on that holiday, that's when you have a scavenger hunt. You can still do the scavenger hunt you're doing
Yeah,
if it's giving you a lot of benefit. But this scavenger hunt is on that holiday, and you've teamed up with the Instagram influencers for it, and you're hiding the clues on their Instagram accounts, so people who know about this contest,
Mm-hmm.
they're looking on those Instagram accounts. So now you got people. You are driving people to them and not just using them. So it's a give and take. It's a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
And then because they're hiding these clues in their pictures as well, people have to follow those clues and so forth, get to find the prizes, and there are these really cool knives, and maybe you actually have clues that lead to physical locations, and so now you have some caches of some awesome knives in different cities all over the world, kind of like geocaching.
I don't know if that's illegal, but
maybe not.
hiding
Okay.
knives.
Hiding knives, okay, so never mind about that. By the way, this is not legal advice, so don't do this stuff. Okay, now if it's in the virtual world and you have these clues hidden on these Instagram accounts, and then they end up having to solve the puzzle, and maybe you get them to collaborate with each other because it's too hard for them to figure it out on their own. If you were doing this in the real world, people aren't going to travel to all sorts of different cities, so they're going to be forced to collaborate. And if you make it so that teams can win and not just individuals.
Is that like, is there a long tail, like from a project like that? Like,
Mhm.
I've written some articles that like will get like 2 million views a year, and some that get like almost none.
Yeah.
And the fear is just like investing a ton of time into something that will only have engagement for one day.
Well, that's where you need to have a plan for piggybacking on those successful campaigns. So a client of mine, Zappos, had set a Guinness World Record for most simultaneous high fives. I don't know if you knew that. Anyone know that? Most simultaneous high fives. And that's a flash in the pan, because after the Guinness World Record is set and you get a bit of buzz and PR about it, then what? It's not like a year from after that they're going to be able to get more leverage out of it. You have to have a plan for embracing and extending or building on piggybacking on that successful campaign. So you got something that had 2 million, what was it, views or?
Yeah, this knife steals, if you click that. So like I said, we can't do any ads anywhere. So like a lot of our articles are getting like 0 results within our industry. But like our nav tree for our educational content on our actual website is really weak right now.
Okay. So this gets 2 million what?
2 million sessions per year.
2 million sessions per year. Okay.
I mean, it hasn't been up a whole year, but it's trending that way.
So what can you do to piggyback on this? Because it's already got legs, it's already got traction.
We have like flashcards at the bottom, but then somebody has to go all the way to the bottom to get to them. And like some of these pieces are getting...
Are these the flashcards?
No, that's like kind of like, it's just like an analysis of steel. But like, I mean, this is getting a 0 result.
So where's the flashcards?
Other, sorry, I mean, like that's the problem. Other resources. And like on shorter articles, these things do get more clicks, but this thing's so big that...
So which ones are the flashcards?
All of these. So like these will take you to other educational content. Some of them are like...
What I was thinking when you said flashcards is like a deck of cards.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This would be a really cool idea for you.
we've done like 20 decks of cards, like fully custom.
Yeah, so if you had a deck of cards that was not like playing cards, but instead maybe it was a different kind of game, like what's this Exploding Kittens game? Have you heard of that game? Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And then there's one that VAT19 has that was really funny. What was that one? It was Taco something
Thank
or
you
other.
to Wix for sponsoring this video. Wix, the place to create
So anyways,
professional...
imagine having your own game that was for knife lovers, and you can either print out the deck yourself with your color printer, or better yet, they buy the deck from you. And then...
Like as a resource, like a fun educational thing. Yeah.
So you're gamifying stuff.
Yeah.
You should find ways to gamify. Look at this. Where's this video? Okay, here we go. This is awesome. All of their videos are amazing. VAT19.
Not that easy.
You just got to see what
Grammarly can
they're
help.
doing. It's genius.
This sentence is grammatically correct.
This game is called.
Welcome to Let's Play IRL, where you join VAT19 as we play a party game. In this
Why is
episode,
this not
we're
playing
playing Taco
audio?
Pizza, a frenzy card game that makes nonsense seriously competitive while short-circuiting your brain. The winner will be rewarded with a literal taco
That would be a
goat cheese
trick.
pizza,
No.
while the loser will stuff
Okay.
their
Anyways, so
sad
this
loser
game is
And this is
hilarious because if you're too slow, then you have to collect these cards.
Yeah, you can make like a knife fight game, like a card game or something.
Kind of like what that thing, which is really stupid. I can't believe people actually play that. But with in a totally safe way with cards or whatever, you could kind of take a take on this taco cat goat cheese pizza.
So if you have like an article that's like getting like 10x what any other article's getting, then you can utilize that as like...
Yeah, so use that as your inspiration for building on. So in the case of the Guinness World Record, most simultaneous high fives, what would you want as a next thing, let's say 6 months later after all the hullabaloo has died down about the Guinness World Record? Right? So think of high five, that's just one hand gesture. What about some of the other hand gestures out there, like okay, thumbs up, V for victory, fist bump, and so forth. These hand gestures mean different things in different parts of the world. This is not polite in certain parts of the world, the V symbol, or the thumbs up. So, I forget which countries, but this means up yours. And so if you got inspiration about the simultaneous high fives, and you think, okay, well, let's milk this for all it's got. Let's go into other hand gestures. Let's try and set other Guinness World Records, or let's try and educate people on what these gestures mean in different parts of the world. A high five might not be a nice thing in certain countries, or they might think that that's really rude or whatever to try and high five somebody or whatever. So you're creating man on the street interviews, going to places and busy, like Times Square type places, and asking people what these hand gestures mean to them and stuff, and collecting the funniest answers and turning that into a viral video. You're creating infographics. You're creating personality tests and quizzes, and you're just piggybacking on something that's already successful. So that should be something that you kind of bake into your whole process.
So aside from embedding the infographics, do you have any tips for getting traffic on them? Because we've done a few that just don't get any traffic at all, and they're kind of difficult because.
Well, let's look at them. If they're not awesome, then that would explain it.
On our homepage, there's one that we just made recently, and we've had kind of like an email campaign surrounding it.
Okay. This could be designed in such a better way that it would be more link worthy.
Yeah. So if you just click our.
Okay.
And then there's a carousel, which I know you hate. But
yes, I do.
I think in a couple little...
At least test it. Humor me. Get rid of the carousel and see what the metrics are. And you can put it back if
Yeah, I can see the flaw because now we're like 5 slides in, and I know it's there. That one right there. Don't
Okay.
lose it.
Isn't that funny? Like, I wanted that thing. No, now you have to wait for it.
So this is a category that's populated with all the knives that are featured in the article, and then you'd click that
Okay.
little thing to get to the article.
So click on this to get to the article.
Yeah.
Why do you make it so hard for people to even get? Like, this feels like a banner or something. I get banner blindness to this. I don't even think to click on this. Do you get a lot of clicks on this?
Well, we're trying to build out like shoppable categories and landing pages so that the long tail is better. But like this article was in emails and on social and swipe up on story and all that stuff. So I think that the traffic was pretty good. But yeah, obviously I would love to send people to just an article. But then like our product team and sales team probably would rather send it to a category.
Yeah. So you always want to have buttons that are compelling. The worst kind of button is just says submit. Read is not that much better.
Yeah.
If it's in first person and it's like, I want my free thing, I want my free report or whatever, that's more compelling because they read that to themselves in their mind. And if it has a value proposition that is super compelling, you're going to get more engagement. So if you do a heat map analysis and see where people click and how they engage, that's probably not going to get much traction. But then you're competing with your products that you want people to buy. So
yeah.
But why is it there in such prime positioning if you don't really want people to click on it? So
yeah, I understand. I think that our hope is that like our SEO value will send people straight to this page and then they'll go to shop. But right now we're just running that campaign, so it's on our homepage.
This is a nice article. I think this looks a lot better than the one that you said gets 2 million uniques a year.
Yeah, well, we knew that article that we made was going to be really popular because our biggest affiliate was making 90% of their affiliate money from that knife steel article. So then we just made a better one and shot them down the rankings.
Okay.
So that was kind of like
a skyscraper. That's the skyscraper technique. Yeah. Make something much better than everybody else. Okay, so what's the next action for somebody to take on this?
I mean, I guess if they wanted to know more, they would go to another article or...
Well, if it's the Linkerati who has a lot of influence as far as Google's concerned, what do you want them to do? You just have a conclusion and you're not having them interact with it. If it's an infographic and there's an embed code, then that's a direct call to action, like, hey, embed this infographic.
That's sharp, yeah.
But what are you doing here that is connecting the dots for them so that you actually get the link and they don't just say, oh, that was cool?
Yeah, that's been the challenge.
Yeah, so create an infographic version of it, have a little, don't have the whole thing all over again, but they can click on it to see the full thing, and then have the embed and say, put this infographic on your website. Cool. Steal our infographic.
Yeah, that's a great concept. Thank you.
Yep, you bet.
We pay people in our marketing department to read your SEO Bible.
Oh, nice. That's great. You should have them pay me. So I only have about 5% juice left, so we're going to have to do a lightning round because I left my charger plugged in at the... but yeah, I guess I could pull it up on my phone, but that's not going to be that great. So who's up next?
UPSStoreprint.com.
UPSStoreprint.com. So UPSStoreprint.com. Why is it not loading?
I just been known for like a year and a half.
No, it's upsstore.com/print.
There's a different domain, UPSStoreprint.com. So.
Well, it's not loading.
It's not loading. Yeah.
UPSStoreprint.com is blank.
It's blank. That's not a good deal.
Ruh-roh.
I'm calling somebody. Well, you've got my card anyway. So
yes.
My big thing is I
I
manage 5,000 websites. It's all franchise model.
Okay.
So the corporate, which is not up right now, then they got 5,000.
That's crazy.
On top of that, which is, I'll be calling somebody.
Okay. All right, who's up? Now that I found his site down, who's
DrBeckersBites.com.
That's a big problem.
Yeah. Say that again, sorry?
DrBeckersBites.com. It's DrBeckers.
DR. Becker's
Bites.
Bites. Now this is the perfect example of an about page that you want to, or a page that has, or a site that has a brand of a person that you want people to get to know and like and trust. So this is
Yeah, and that landing page, well, not that one, it's actual Who is Dr. Karen Becker is our main landing page. She is the world's leading authority vet on health and nutrition, so everyone's trying to find out about her, so we're just trying to piggyback on.
So why
Google
is,
searches for her.
yeah, so why can't I get to that from the About Us? That seems silly to me that it's so kind of invisible to click on this.
Okay.
No, it's not even clickable. I can't click on Who is Dr. Becker.
All right.
And can't click on the photo. To learn more about Dr. Karen Becker, click here.
He said he has
So-
a separate site.
So this is the Dr. Becker's Bites About page that doesn't intuitively link to the About Dr. Becker page, and she's the celebrity. This should be as much about her as it should be about the store and the company.
Right.
So you need to incorporate a lot more stuff about her in here. It needs to be kind of structured as a timeline with like great storytelling in here.
I saw your timeline thing. We're good.
Yeah,
I like
and
that
then
idea.
and then this page, which is much better in terms of being about Dr. Becker and in the storytelling in this page, but this it feels like hard work. It feels like hard work. It's like I have to read these walls of text. You want short paragraphs, short sentences.
Some of the images can be full bleed, break it up a little bit more.
Yeah, let me show you an example on a site like Backlinko. They have this article called SEO Copywriting, 17 Powerful Secrets. See how each paragraph is really short and each paragraph is broken up by, or paragraph, like there aren't long chunks of text. There's images breaking up the text. You can't possibly get to a screen full that's all text. They're going to be images. And another thing that they do here that's quite good is they use bucket brigades, which are cliffhanger sentences.